Hi Kids Club! Today we're going to be planting bulbs. As you can see all around me are different flowers that are considered bulbs. We will be learning how to plant bulbs, what makes them special, and how to take care of them. So let's get started. The first thing is a little lesson on what makes bulbs special. Bulbs are plants growing from an underground mass of food storage tissues. The storage capacity of a bulb is a special adaptation for survival. Bulbs store enough food to enable them to grow and flower with no additional nutrients during the first year. The storage tissue is like the bulb's lunchbox. A big lunchbox packed with enough food for the whole growing season. In your kit, you'll have 3 of these. These are tulip bulbs. But there's another plant that you might recognize but didn't know that they were bulbs. Onions! Did you know that these are bulbs? They grow the same way that tulips do. So let's actually cut into the onion so we can see the different pieces and parts of what makes up a bulb. Okay, here we have our tulip bulb and our onion. You can see they're very similar. On the bottom there's the place where the roots come out and the top where the stem and the leaves come out. So I'm going to cut into the onion so you can see exactly what it looks like on the inside. Whew, okay, the onion's making me cry. Okay. We've got our onion cut open, and you can see all of the pieces and parts of what makes a bulb special. A true bulb is a modified stem containing a complete miniature plant, including an embryonic leaf. Very, very tiny. In the center is this protected little embryonic baby plant. Look at that. You can even see that this one is starting to split into 2. The next part is the fleshy scales, which are these parts that go up and around. Those are what provide the food to the young plant. And then the basal plate right here, this darker piece, is what produces the roots that come out of the bottom. Some true bulbs are called tunicate bulbs. Now, an onion is a tunicate bulb because it has this papery film around the outside. You can recognize it. It flakes off pretty easily. The same with the tulip bulb. You see, here's the papery film on the outside coming off. That is to help protect it from drying out. So it's wearing a little tunic to keep it nice and dry. Next time you're cooking with onions, take a look inside and see if you can name all of the parts. Now that we know what makes a bulb, are there any other plants that you recognize as bulbs? If you look around me, there's many varieties. These are just a few. We have hyacinth, we have tulips, and we have daffodils. Now let's get started on our project. Today's project is planting these bulbs, and let me see if I grab our kit. Ooh. In your kit, you will have a lovely instruction sheet to follow along, and it also has the lesson about what makes bulbs special. We also have a very big pot of soil. There should be 3 of these tulip bulbs. Now, as we learned, they have this little tunic, which is the papery part on the outside that keeps them from drying out. It's okay if yours has already fallen off. That's not a big deal at all. Don't you worry about it. And then we have violas. These are cute little plants that we'll plant on the top. So, first step is we take everything out. Put this over here, put our bulbs over here. And then we are going to pour about the top 2 inches of soil out of our pot so we can plant our bulbs. It's okay if you pour a little more. Woo. Okay. Set the box aside. Now we plant our bulbs. So you should have 3 tulip bulbs. These are from a rainbow mixture, so they will be a surprise what color they come up as. I believe that there are whites, pinks, yellows, oranges, and reds. Now, as we learned about the bulb and how the roots come out from the bottom here and the basal plate, and then this pointy end is the top where the stems come up. So we want to make it easy for the bulbs when we plant them, and we are going to put them root side down, pointy side up. So this is the pointy side, it goes up. And then you can just set them in there, make a nice little snug little home for them. I made a little triangle. Okay, next we put the soil, more soil on top. So you can either pour it on top or set it. They like to be nice and snug and tucked in bed. Also, if you planted one of your tulips a little crooked, it's okay. Believe it or not, they will always find a way to go up. So even if it's sideways, the stem will find a way to reach the sun. Now we plant our violas. You can take the tag out, and if you want to, you can save it and put it in your pot, or you can just set it off to the side. The trick with these is you squish, 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 and then push the bottom so they pop out. You can even, whoop, ta-da. And then we want to give those roots a nice massage. Their poor little roots, maybe break them up a little bit. They've been stuck in that pot way too long. Then we'll dig a little hole. Not too bad, because we have soil that we can put around the outside. And again, don't worry if you touch one of your bulbs, it'll be okay. And then put them wherever you like. Use your creativity. Put them in another triangle pattern. You can put them in a straight line, however you like. Make sure they're in there nice and snug. They like to be snug, tightly placed in there too. Everybody likes to be tucked in nice and tight for bed. Do this. There you go. And then place that down in there. Okay, so now they're in their places where I want them to be. We still have some soil, so let's fill in those spaces around. See how there's roots showing? We don't want any roots showing. They need to be tucked in. So let's fill in those spaces. And push down so they stay in place. Let's turn it for you. There's some more roots showing there, so we're going to tuck those in, push them down. And the best part is you'll have these beautiful little flowers blooming for you in the colder months. And then in the spring, those tulips are going to work their magic. And when the soil starts to warm up, that'll turn on their little alarm clock, and they'll know that they need to wake up. And then they'll grow up through, and they'll pop their little heads out, and then they'll start to get taller, and they'll bloom for you. I think that's it. Okay, that's pretty cool. And just like that, we've completed our planter. Don't forget that those cute little bulbs are down in the bottom there and will start to emerge during the spring. But until then, these sweet little violas will be smiling up at you and growing during the colder months. What are we going to do next? We need to find a sunny location, somewhere where it'll get a bright, bright sunshine and you can leave it there for the whole winter. And then we are going to water it. We need to water it and water it and water it. Give it a big drink of water until the water comes out of the bottom of the planter where these holes are. That means that we've given it enough water. And then you will water it, I would check it every other day. If you stick your finger down in there and it comes up dry, it's time to give it another drink of water. If it comes up wet, then leave it alone and it won't need to be watered again. You can check it the next day. Now, if it's in a location that might get rain, and we get a lot of rain here, it may not need to be watered at all during the winter months, but just keep an eye on it and make sure that it doesn't completely dry out, and keep an eye that it doesn't freeze either. And then just watch them grow. And in spring, you'll start to see these little green shoots come up between the violas, and those shoots will turn into long stems, and then those long stems will turn into beautiful tulips. And since this is a rainbow mix, there'll be a surprise. So it'll be fun to see what colors you end up with. That was our class. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I can't wait to see you all again soon.